Hello, hello. All right, so welcome to Raising Justice Live. We are excited about having you here. Today, it's pretty much unscripted, and we are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. So, whichever is your fave, we are here and able to interact with you guys. Unlike our other episodes, again, this one is live and we're going over questions that were submitted to me. Um, one of the questions that was submitted looks like it's having a little bit of trouble on Instagram. Let's see if we can get that corrected really quickly. Let's see. Oh, well, it looks good on my end. Hello, hello. Just watch a little bit. Yeah, just making sure it's caught up. It's seeing here that it's struggling, so it looks like it's now caught up. All right, so come on in. I see we got a couple hearts already. Thank you, thank you, thank you for just taking the time and really just hanging out with us really quickly. We're not going to be long. It's Sunday evening, but we wanted to provide an opportunity to get some live interaction with everyone um, as we continue to talk about the book. So I'm going to share and tap in for everyone to get on. Come on in. Hello, hello. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm just going to start talking about some of the questions that have already been submitted to me, either about the book or about something that we heard um, or messages that were sent in from the podcast. Um, Hi, Shakita. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Um, and it looks like it's like answering from everywhere. But thank you for joining. So we're going to talk about some of the questions that were submitted to me. Today is very unscripted. I hope everyone's Sunday is going well. Justice is fresh back from Korea. Maybe we can kick off talking a little bit about your trip and how that went. Um, Pretty exciting to have your dream trip, right? That was kind of like your one of your dream trips.
Yeah, no, it was definitely very surreal. I definitely didn't think I would be going to Korea that soon. So it was pretty cool. I feel like it's also interesting just being in a foreign country where it's like really foreign. There's not much of anything that I knew a lot about. And also, it just doesn't mirror America a lot. So, yeah, I feel like it was a really good experience and I really enjoyed myself. I enjoyed having that much time to be in a different place as well. I think it was just an overall great experience. I'm happy to be back home, but I'm so happy I went as well. I think it was a really good time.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, Justice, a lot of the questions that were submitted to me were really directed towards you. Somebody got a little snub there. I had a few questions, but a lot of people were really interested in kind of your life, what's happening with you. They kind of, again, questions about where are you now as far as in terms of now that you have graduated, what does that look like for you? What are some of the fun things that you're doing? How is school going? All of that other type of stuff. So maybe tell our guests a little bit about what's going on with you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on. I feel like the current job that I have is very interesting, very nice, very great. I mean, it's definitely a job that I kind of wanted outside of graduation from FAMU. So I work for the Land of Magic now. That's a new and improved thing in my life. I'm also starting my master's degree, and I'm hoping I'm not going to say too much about it because it's very new and fresh, and I honestly don't feel very confident. But that is something that I'm doing right now, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it when it comes to like being home. That's kind of the reason why I am back in Orlando. So yeah, I feel like there's really not much else new except the school and the work thing. So yeah, I mean, it's been great being able to be graduated and kind of out of school for a little bit, but now I'm kind of back in there. And it's been great figuring out like a new company and kind of adapting to their standards.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. All right, so that's the checkup on Justice and where she is now, since someone did submit that question. And also, guys, you can type in right now your questions for us. It can be regarding Justice and I, our relationship, the Raising Justice book. Right now, again, we are live. We can see what you type into the comments. So if you go ahead and type into the comments your question, we can answer and respond to you live right now. So please feel free to go ahead and do that. All right. So another question that was submitted, and I guess I can kind of answer that is last week you weren't here while you were in Korea. Your brothers were featured.
I saw.
And it saw that it seemed like the people liked that episode and really seeing me interact with them. And so people had a chance to meet with Davion, Dorian, and Dion Jr. And so a question that was submitted to me that came in was about them having a book. So I'm guessing that person missed that part. I asked them, how they felt about the idea of a book being about them, and they've all seemed pretty excited. But yes, guys, Raising Justice initially is a collection of some of my journal entries over the years of just all the little things that she would say and the different things that I was just learning as a parent. And, it became the book. But it really wasn't put on my heart until recently to make it a series. What I've noticed is I've grown so much. Like this book is about the things that I learned, and primarily as a young mom and with my oldest child, but I've learned so much more through each one of my children. I've had the experience of, having a child with a 504 or an IEP or a different diagnosis that needs a different type of advocacy or a different level of attention. And then, having a pregnancy past, 35 years old or in my 30s. And each child is different. And so I am going to journal each one of them. So there will be a Raising Dion that will be probably the next edition to come out in a couple of years. And there'll be a Raising Dorian and a Raising Davion. And so I don't know. I feel like it's going to be pretty cool that a part of the legacy that I'm able to leave to my children is a collection of what I've learned from them, some of their childhood memories, and something that they can hold on to for the rest of their lives. So I'm excited about the opportunity of sharing with you guys just my motherhood journey and how it differentiates and how it evolved over the years. Yeah, so we're excited about that. But your brothers did a really good job filling in while you were gone. Yeah. So that was pretty fun having them on. So again, guys, yes, Manda, it's a series. I see your comment. You can submit your questions right now in the comments and we're able to answer you live. Right now, I'm kind of just going over questions that were either emailed to me, text to me, messaged in some kind of way. I'm kind of going over those questions now. So let me look up the next one. Justice, one of the questions was, what is your relationship like with your dad? And they kind of asked both dads, but I'm going to let you decide and answer how you want to answer that. But what's your relationship like?
Yeah, I think that's definitely a really good question, and I feel like it's definitely something that if you asked me about it like 6 years ago, it'd be a completely different answer from how it is now. So we're happy to see that there's growth, and I feel like my relationship with my fathers have like improved over just like the course of just living and learning as well. I feel like especially nowadays, like dad, I feel like we've gotten a better relationship overall. I feel like he's somebody I can lean on a little bit more than I used to, and that's been nice to have. I feel like I really depend on my mom a lot when it comes to like emotional and just a lot of just parental need. And I've started to like balance them out a little bit more as I've gotten older, which is nice. I feel like I didn't really utilize that when I was younger. So I think now it's nice to have like both perspectives and also just have a different point of view, because I'm usually just talking to her. So it's good to get his point of view as well. And he's great. So it's a good like combo, the both of them. And when it comes to like my biological father, I definitely think like our relationship is better than what it was, like I said, about 6 to 10 years ago, which is great. I feel like, I can't have everything be perfect with our relationship, but I'm happy that we're constantly working on like what works for us and how to respect each other and how to work as a relationship. So I feel like, I can't complain. I don't think there's anything wrong. And I feel like we make an effort to be in each other's lives, which is good. And I can't really be upset. I think I'm very happy and blessed to have like the two father figures that I do have in my life. I'm very grateful. I don't think everybody gets to have two. So that's awesome. I actually have so many different father figures, like a lot of older male or like just male influence in my life, which is great. But those two are great to have specifically. So.
Yeah. I'm happy that you mentioned like father figure, because I think this book is so focused on motherhood. I mean, the whole book is about me growing as a parent, and who, in the lessons again that I've learned throughout the years, that it does not focus a lot on the dads or the men involved. And guys, trust me, that is not by intention. Like there's no malicious intent, I'll say that, to leave the men out of this story. I wanted to stay on topic because I'm a talker. I'm kind of chatty. I could be a chatty writer too. But it was important for me to write a book that really stuck to the premise. And the premise of this book was, what did I learn through my daughter? And how did my challenge of parenting in a way that I wasn't parented? But I don't want to misrepresent the presence of men and support in this situation. In the book, you learn that I found out that I was pregnant, and I had moved on to a new relationship and did not, realize that I was pregnant. And we decided to continue to date. And this October is actually 21 years since we've been together. And I feel blessed and fortunate that I get to be with the person who I spent my entire pregnancy with. That was a blessing. I have a father. I have a father that just left my house today. So I have a very active dad. I did not live in the home with my dad all of my life, but I was loved by my father. I know my whole life I was loved by my father. I was raised by my father's mother. Um, but he's always been a part of my life, and he is a part of his grandchildren's life, and he comes over and he helps and assists us. And my son runs to the door when he comes in, and so I am grateful for that. My grandfather, we message about once a month or so, and on holidays and things like that, but he is active in my life. My father-in-law, my husband's dad, again, an active grandfather, shows up, is present. And so I just really want to call out the fact that although men aren't the center of the Raising Justice book, they are very relevant, very loved, very present. And my uncle, my great uncle at that, just left my home and is actively involved with my children and consistently around. That's my grandmother's brother. But we are so grateful, again, for the fact that this book really centers around motherhood. But please, I don't want to leave out the fact that I respect men, and I honor the men in our lives that play such a very important and present role. So happy somebody asked that question, and I love what you said, because it really opened up the door to the father figures that maybe are, kind of in the backdrop when we talk about the Raising Justice book. But I just want to take the time to highlight that they are loved and very active and present in our lives. Mm-hmm. All right. So another question that came in, and again, feel free to drop a question because we are live and we can see it and answer it in real time. Is someone asks, what is it exactly that I do now? Which I thought I was promoting what I do, but do I have any regrets about my career change? Good question. All right, guys. So what I currently do right now is I'm a leadership coach and management consultant, and I do facilitation. So yes, if you are on your job and you guys got people problems, they're not showing up on time, they don't seem committed, it's a toxic work environment. I offer leadership development and training for the leaders in the building. So that's what I do. And if you see me traveling and things like that, I've gotten a deal or landed a contract somewhere, and I'm going there to execute an excellent workshop or session for someone, you typically in some field of leadership. So I do leadership coaching and management consulting. I also partner with businesses to help organize their management teams. And then I'm an author. Again, it was part of my dream. I started my first book at 15 years old. Thank you, Londa. I appreciate that. But right now, I'm in the phase of my career where I am living out my dream. I am an ICF, which is an internationally accredited coach. So not only did I put coach title on my name, I went and got schooling and education and took an exam and all this other type of stuff to be certified by a board of individuals who have the state of the art training and coaching ethics. And so I am a certified coach and consultant. So that's what I do. Now, do I regret leaving my job? No. I don't regret stepping away from, the corporate 9 to 5. Do I miss it sometimes? Yes. Sometimes I miss the comforts of a 9 to 5. Sometimes I miss the comforts of a direct deposit. I've had direct deposit for 20 years straight. This is my first year without a direct deposit in 20 years. That's different. That's different. So I do miss some of the comforts and the perks and the benefits and really the community of working for a job. I think I miss the community the most. Like I didn't realize how much I love people and interacting with them until I became a solopreneur. So yeah, do I regret it? No. Do I miss it? Yes. Will I ever go back? Who's to say? I say this. I wanted to work for a company that I felt deeply cared about me. And so I created my own. I created the company that I knew would care for me. And so I enjoy working for myself. Is there a company out there that maybe could sway me in? Possibly. But trust me, if you find out that I'm working somewhere, they were well vetted in order to get me to come in and give up my own company or to set aside my own company again. So thanks for asking that question and giving me an opportunity to share on that. No regrets, but sometimes I do miss the stability of it. All right. So if there's any other questions, you can definitely drop them. I have like 2 more that came through. Justice, one of the questions was the relationship with your brothers.
Oh, yeah.
So what is your relationship like with your brothers? And maybe you can kind of say each one of them or
what I was going to say, they're not all the same. I think everybody's very different. Also, everybody's in very different age groups. So the way that I interact with Davey is going to be completely different from how I interact with Dion. And I don't know. I feel like it's interesting because brothers are a little bit different. Like they keep things very like one word response, very very short and sweet. Yeah. So it's like I try to like, I don't know, get to know them a little bit more, but it's always like dry. And I'm like, okay. I feel like Dion's kind of started to grow out of that, but like, like Dorian's in that phase and Davion, he has limited vocabulary, so he only knows enough to tell me what he's going through, but not everything.
But Davion knows a lot, though.
No, Davion knows enough to tell me what he's going through, but I feel like sometimes it's miscalculated.
Because he said something yesterday that was just like,
yeah,
he said pitiful. Yeah, how pitiful. Yeah.
I was like, who said that? But that's fine. I feel like all of them are very different. Like I'm starting to really grow into what our relationship looks like now that I'm back home. I feel like when I was in college for those 2 years, it was really hard to like maintain something consistent. But now that I'm home, it's like a little bit easy. Like for Davion, like, we get our little ice cream or we talk about whatever he wants to talk about, watch his little TV show. Dorian will talk about like anime and things that he's interested in now. Now he's growing up, he's starting to like find interests and like they align with mine. So we'll talk about that. And then me and Dion are starting to get a little bit more of an easier relationship because now he's at the age where he doesn't annoy me as much as he used to. So like now,
did you see what he said last week?
About what?
About you.
What did he say about me?
I asked him what was it like about having a big sister, and
Oh.
he was saying that you were cool and everything. And then I asked him the pros and the cons, and then for the cons, he's like, they always seem to be annoyed. I'm like,
Okay. I can explain that. It's just like sometimes I just that's like the only way emotion shows up on my face for him. And like that's how it is. But it's all love, and like that's like the consistent thing with all of them. Like I love all of them very, very much. Like that's partially the reason why I'm back home. Like I miss them. And I really want to make sure that like I don't know, I feel like siblings, like just certain relationships are really important in life. And I really want to make sure like they know that I'm somebody they could lean on if they needed anything. I care, I pay attention. Like I try my best to show them that I'm here. I'm an option. If you need anything, like our parents are great, you can talk to them, but I'm here as well. So that's like the main thing that I try to make sure is present with our relationships. But yeah, if I look like I'm annoyed, that's just like my face. I can't control that. But you know,
you can't control it, but
it's just how I come across sometimes. But it's okay. Like literally whenever I talk to them, it's literally all love. Happy to be there, happy to see them. Even if they say something crazy, I'm still very, very happy with them. So yeah, I love all of them equally. Let's hope that they grow. I feel like that's another thing with like sibling relationships. They grow over time.
Yeah.
Like I used to hate Dion like really bad. And like now like I love him really like a lot more than I used to. So it's like I think things will grow and change, and hopefully when we're older it'll be something that we can look back on and laugh about. But
it'll be
sibling relationships they evolve over time for sure.
Definitely. Yeah. All right. Couple more questions that came in. One of them was someone asked about my necklace, and I was like, "Oh my god, somebody noticed." That was somebody DM'd in. So for if the person that's watching that asks about my necklace, they couldn't quite make it out, but it is all of my kids' name. Mm-hmm. It's my favorite piece. I think it was like Mother's Day a few years ago. Mm-hmm. That it was gifted to me, and I wear it very, very often. But it starts over here, and then it's Justice. It says Deontavius, Dorian, and then which way is this reflected? And then you got Davion on the end. But yes, for the person that did ask about the necklace that I was wearing, yes, it has all 4 of my kids' name on it, and it's my favorite piece of jewelry. That's the person that asked. All right, so then one of the other questions that was asked is, so what's next for you guys? Justice, kick it off. What's next for you?
That's a good question. I feel like, I'm at that age where things are not fully determined yet. Okay. But that's okay. I'm honestly going with the flow. I do want to expand my career a little bit more since I'm just kind of starting off. I'm hoping to do something fun. I'm hoping to still do fun things while I'm youthful and have the energy to do so. So for me, my next step is just to keep working, have fun, go on trips, do fun things, hopefully move and do some fun stuff as well. I want to really like explore the world, travel, move crazy places again. I always go crazy places. So my goal is to continue that. I think I will just keep that going until somebody tells me to stop. So that is the plan for me. I really don't have like a pointed plan, but I think that's like the fun part of life. You're not really supposed to have one. You're supposed to just have like goals and aspirations and just find your way there. So that's how I'm going to roll right now.
You're finding your way. Mm-hmm. Well, I can appreciate that. All right. So then for me, what's next? So the next in the author category, the next thing people will see from me is my new book that I'm looking to launch in January. It's called Pieces to Peace, Overcoming COVID and Corporate and COVID. And so I will talk about my transition into full-time entrepreneurship. What were the events or the things that really led up to that decision? And I'm really going to share with readers again how, as a young African-American woman, I was able to, progress my career into a director level role for a major company, and my road kind of there, some of the things that I experienced while there, and my COVID experience, which most of you guys know, especially if you're my friend, that I was hospitalized for 7 days on oxygen treatment for 3 months, recovering from COVID. And in that quietness and stillness of that recovery, God really just started to speak to me about, am I living my true purpose, or are my actions fully aligned with what I really want to do? And what it began was the thought process to really re-examining, yes, it feels good. Yes, it's a lot of money. Yes, all these things are good, but is it what you're supposed to be doing? And so I really kind of walk the reader through again my rise in corporate America, the stillness of that COVID recovery, and then my final leap um, from corporate America into entrepreneurship. But again, it's called Pieces to Peace: Overcoming Corporate and COVID, and it's due to release in January. So I am working on that. I'm in the editing phase of that book and trying to piece all the good final details together for that. And then I guess what else is next for me is really continuing to scale my business. I have some contractors that are signed on for me with me, and always looking to invite more contractors to collaborate with as we get larger contracts and really help develop the leaders of the world. Like, can't wait for my first international client. And so really excited about growing that business, but that's what's on the horizon for me. All right. So, Justice, do you have anything else you want to share with our guests as we wrap up? This is my first podcast that I have done, and it's been a really good and exciting experience. Um, but yeah, any final thoughts as we wrap up the Raising Justice Live series?
I think this has been a really fun and interesting experience. I didn't know if I was much of a talker, but this shows me that, I can talk for a amount of time and not look crazy. So thank you guys for tuning in and listening. It means a lot, and I'm happy that we got a chance to do this. I know you're talking about it, and I'm happy that it's finally, present and something that we're doing. So I just want to say thank you. I think it's hard to put ourselves out there. So
Yeah.
we appreciate, people just coming and watching and, asking questions, things like that. It just really means a lot. But I think other than that, there's really not much I can say. This was a fun experience. I'm happy that I could be a part of it. And yeah, maybe there will be a next time. Maybe there won't be. This was still a good series and a good time.
Yeah. One thing I was really careful about is I didn't want to commit to something that I didn't feel like I could do long term.
Mm-hmm.
So I made it a series because I'm like, I know I can commit to the next few weeks of being dedicated to this. And I'm so happy that I did. I think this allowed us to take the book from the pages and bring it into like real life. And so I want to thank everyone for just job well done. It's only up from here. Thank you, Pastor Jody. I appreciate that. I'm just so excited about the opportunity to share with you guys and to share our story. And so I am grateful. Thank you, Shakita. She said, congratulations.
Oh,
I'm grateful for just the kind words and the encouragement, because it is hard to put yourself out there. Thank you, Londa.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to put yourself out there and kind of tell your business, and I feel good about it, but I think other people have feelings about it. And then I start getting feelings about it because I'm like, man, I didn't mean for you to get offended because I'm good. And so it's just a lot when you put yourself out there. But I know that I'm doing what I feel that God has compelled me to do. So it's exciting to see that it warms the hearts or other people to just feel good about it too. So thank you guys again. We're not going to belabor the time. If you notice, if I do anything, it's not going to be, I don't want to overtalk it. We're going up on 29, almost 30 minutes. And I really wanted to keep this under 30 minutes. If you have any last minute questions, definitely type them. If you don't have the book by now, what are you waiting for? Go on Amazon right now, order your book, or go on my website, DorisJacksonShazier.com. Order your book from me directly, and I will sign it and ship it to you. But definitely get your book. I'm telling you, it's a good book. I know I'm going to be biased, but it is a good book. It is specifically designed also for the working mom, for the working dad. The book is less than 100 pages. All of my writings will be less than 150 pages because I want my books to be weekend reads. I want you to be able to get so into it that you go ahead and finish it. I've had a couple of readers tell me they finish it in one day, but also I want you to at least be able to commit to a weekend and not be this long-winded book that you're carrying around forever. So if you haven't gotten the book, please, you're supporting a small business owner and mom of not one, not just Justice, but four. Go out, get your Raising Justice book. I greatly appreciate it. But thank you guys again. And thank you, Kia. Great job, and your transparency has really helped others. Thank you. I appreciate that validation. Like I really do. But you guys go and have a great night. Thank you for tuning in to Raising Justice Live. We'll see you guys next time.